Hi there, welcome back to the DutchRC channel for a full review of this SJCAM X1000 sports camera or action camera. Why am I reviewing this one? I already have a few SJCAM cameras, the X5000s. I'm reviewing this one because it's low cost, an entry level 1080p camera. So I want to see if it's any good, if it is a good entry level camera for people that don't want to spend 150 euros. This one at the moment I'm shooting this video is around $90, I think. I'll have a link in the description so you can see the availability and the current pricing of it. And in this video I will show you what comes with this camera, how it operates, what kind of video it produces, how it handles transitions from light to dark, and if the microphone is any good. So quite a lot of things to show you. Let's get started. Okay, first up the camera itself in its waterproof housing. The specs say that it should be waterproof up to 30 meters down. I haven't tested that, but I have put the housing with the camera in it in my bathtub for 24 hours and it was waterproof. You can access all buttons through the case. That's nice, and you can simply open it by removing this latch and then the back door and then taking the camera out. Okay, and I'll show you the camera itself in more detail in a minute. Okay, let's quickly go over all the stuff that comes with the camera. Now, waterproof case, yes, and it comes with an alternate back door. This back. And the purpose of this alternate back door is if you do want the protection of this case, but if you want to have a little more sound coming into the camera, obviously the waterproof case blocks out most of the sound. You can then use this back door. With this back door the housing will no longer be waterproof though. Keep that in mind. Next thing is an open holder for the camera. Simply slot the camera in like so. And obviously this way it's not waterproof at all. And you can clip it onto a jacket with this clip over here. With the clip on, obviously you can't see the screen of the camera, but you can take the clip off like that. Gone. Now you can see the screen of the camera, and you can mount this clip with on a tripod. Here's a tripod mounting screw and also one at the bottom. Next thing is a bicycle bar. A handlebar mount, I guess. You can clip this around any kind of pole. Next up is two mounts, flat mounts. Well, flat. One is completely flat and has a tripod hole, mounting hole on it, and the other one is slightly curved. And as you can see, both have sticky backs at them. Next up is a myriad of different mounting and links to mount the camera in different ways. Pretty typical. I think this is the same assortment that comes with every SJCAM. Next is two straps. For instance, if you want to strap the camera to your arm or your ankle or a tree. It comes with a USB lead to charge it and to get the footage off of your camera. It comes with a little silicone lens cap. Goes on the camera like so to protect your lens. Next up is 2 spare adhesive pads. There is an instruction booklet, and let's see, it's in several languages, and yeah, it looks okay. And you get 2 SJCAM stickers, very nice, very nice, and a cleaning cloth for your lens. Okay, the camera itself then. At the front, obviously a lens and an on-off button. At the top, a shutter button with a indicator LED. At the right of the camera, you've got a Wi-Fi on-off button and 2 cursor buttons to navigate through the menus. At the back, you've got a 2-inch LCD screen and 2 status LEDs. At the left of the camera we have a micro USB connector, a micro HDMI connector and a SIM card slot. I think the camera can accept up to 64 gigabytes. And at the bottom of the camera is a little hatch for the battery. It comes with a 900 milliampere lithium-ion battery. Okay, and to use the camera, you gotta of course switch it on first by pressing the button at the front. Now, it only takes a light tap on the button, so it is quite easy to accidentally switch the camera on. I think they should change that to you having to press it for like 3 seconds. Okay, and if we now have a look at the LCD, we can see in which resolution we are shooting. We see a battery indicator, we see that the microphone is on, and we see the current date. I've already set the date. And if we now press the button at the top, you can see that the counter over here has turned red, and that indicates that the camera is now recording something. That's all very easy, and you can stop the recording by pressing that button again. There. Now, with this button at the front, you can cycle through the modes. I am in camera mode now. If I press it again, now I'm in photo mode. Press it again and you will be in playback mode, so you can review your photos and videos. And if you press it again, you are in the settings menu. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. And if I press it again, I'm back in video mode. And if I hold on for a few seconds to the on-off button, the camera will shut down. That's pretty easy. I think the use of the camera is pretty intuitive. I do like that very much. Okay, let's then take a closer look at the settings of the camera. You can navigate through the settings with the 2 cursor buttons at the right of the camera. So I'll press down, and now we're in resolution, and then you can choose an option with the shutter button at the top, like so. And yeah, resolutions, 1080p at 30 frames a second, 720p 60, 720p 30, and WVGA at 30 frames a second. And then there's VGA. So there is no 120 frames a second resolution in this camera. Okay, TV out. Yeah, you can switch the TV out on and off, so you can review your videos and pictures on your TV. On-screen display mode, yeah, that basically enables or disables the information on the LCD of the camera. I'd advise to always leave that on. Video labs, let's see. I haven't tried that, to be honest, but I think you can have the camera take like a photo every second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, and then stitch them up into a video. Photo labs, you can set it up so the camera will take a picture after 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Okay, well, to be honest, the photo mode isn't really of interest to me at all. Sequence, cyclic record, yeah, that's an important one. If you use this feature, I have it off, as you can see. It'll record in 3, 5, 10 minute segments, and if your card is full, it'll then delete the oldest one. HDR, yeah, it has an HDR feature, as you can see. We'll get back to that in this video later on. Motion detection, yeah, that's more if, for instance, if you want to use this camera as a security cam, so it'll start recording once it senses motion. Audio, yeah, you can switch basically the microphone on and off. Date stamping, well, I can't imagine many RC people wanting date stamps in their video, but you can turn it on. Image size, that's for photos, of course. Quality, yeah, I've set mine to fine. Default out of the box, it's set to normal. I assume this relates to the bitrate it records at. So I think it's best to just leave it at fine. Sharpness, yeah, you can increase or decrease the sharpness. I've set mine to normal. White balance, yeah, I think it's best to just leave it at auto, but you can choose daylight, cloudy or tungsten. Color, yeah, you can shoot in black and white or sepia, very nice. ISO, as you can see, I've set mine to auto, but you can choose 100, 200, 400, 800 and 1600. Exposure, yeah, that's an exposure. Yeah, that's an exposure compensation if you feel that the image the camera shoots is too dark or too light. Anti-shake, I'll show a little demonstration of that later on in this video. Language, yeah, you can even choose Dutch, Netherlands, French, Deutsch, quite a few, yeah, a lot of languages. Okay, I'll leave mine in English. You can set the date and time over here. Auto power off, yeah, if the camera is not recording and you are not touching any buttons, it'll shut down after 3, 5 or 10 minutes. Beep sound, yeah, that's very handy. I think it'll sound a little beep if you touch a button. TV mode, that's probably, yeah, NTSC or PAL. Screensavers, what's that? Yeah, that says after how many minutes the screen will blank out when you are recording. Frequency. Rotate, yeah, probably, okay, if you have the camera mounted upside down, you want to use that feature, of course. Car mode, I'll skip that. Okay, you can change the Wi-Fi, SSID and the password. License, no set, I'm not really sure. And you can delete files, you can format the memory card in your camera, and I suggest you do that. If you install a fresh card, you can revert to default settings, and this is the version of my firmware. I have version 1 in it. I'll probably look up on the SJCAM site if there is a new version available already. Okay, also a quick look at the Wi-Fi app. This is the SJCAM HD app, and as you can see here, we have a live feed to our camera. There is a bit of lag, but that's expected over Wi-Fi. And if you tap the screen, you can then see the battery level over here. You can see that it's in 1080p. we are in movie mode. If I tap the wrench over here, you can change settings. And if I press this red dot over here, the camera will start recording, and there we go, it's now recording. Very nice. Now the use of a Wi-Fi app like this is limited, I think, mainly because the camera itself also has a screen at the back. And I can confirm that the screen is actually pretty usable in sunny light. So, but of course the screen on your phone or your pad is quite a bit bigger, so you might be able to frame your shots better with your phone. Yeah, it works pretty well. Let's stop this recording. And there you go. The range of the Wi-Fi app is around 30 to 50 meters. And obviously you can change the resolution, all the settings that you can change on the camera itself, you can change in the app as well. So that can be handy. By the way, normally for Wi-Fi devices I use Final Cam, but Final Cam won't connect to this camera, weirdly enough. My other SJCAMs do connect to Final Cam, this one does not. Weird. Okay, and let's go over to some sample footage I shot with this camera. Okay, some sample footage then. I have to say in advance that I didn't make it easy on the camera at all. The footage you're looking at now was shot almost dead into the sun. So it looks a little washed out, but with the camera shooting almost dead into the sun, it looks pretty good. As you can see, everything is crispy sharp. You can read signs on buildings perfectly fine. In a minute I'll turn around and then you'll see that the washed out look will completely disappear again as well. I have not switched on any stabilization, as the camera doesn't have stabilization. I just have a rock solid hand, as you can see. Yeah, this is in 1080p. Looks fine to me. What more can I tell you about this? Well, yeah, there are no dropped frames or anything. I think the bit rate could have been a little higher. I would have liked it to be a bit higher, but the JPEG artifacts aren't enormous, as you can see. I'll also have links to the original unedited footage in the description of this video, and I'll have annotation links in this video to the unedited footage. Okay, let's turn around now. Okay, as you can also see, I've switched to 720p 60 frames a second this time. Again, very difficult conditions for a camera. The buildings on the right are dark and they are in the shadow, and the buildings on the left are light of color and they are in the sunlight. Nevertheless, yes, the buildings on the left obviously look very light. They aren't washed out or overexposed or anything. I can still see details in those buildings. So yeah, and even in 720p everything looks crispy, sharp, very good. What more can I tell you? Yeah, again, no dropped frames, and I didn't see horrible JPEG artifacts. You can clearly see the color of the sky as well, even though you still see detail in the dark areas on the right of your picture. Pretty good. I'm perfectly happy with this. However, this was all shot, of course, in very bright daylight. So let's now switch over to some footage with less light. Okay, taking a stroll through a much darker part of the city over here. It might look pretty bright, but it isn't. The camera just makes it look pretty well detailed and bright. So it copes with these circumstances pretty well as well. Yeah, obviously the background over there in the middle of the screen now, that's a bit over-saturated. Overexposed, sorry. I can't really fault the camera for that. I think hardly any camera would cope well with these circumstances. So yeah, as you can also see, I've switched back to 1080p 30 FPS and looks perfectly fine to me. The dark areas look well detailed. The parts on the left, the lighter parts look well detailed. I'm happy with this. Okay, and the next part I want to show you is how the camera copes with transitions from bright to dark. So here we go. Yeah, well, as you can see here, the transition from light to dark is very smooth, in my opinion, at least. And it doesn't take too long. It actually, yeah, it looks very smooth. So I'm perfectly happy with these findings. Now the next test we'll do is to see how well the microphone in the camera works. So let's listen to our field reporter here for a minute.
Okay, this might be as good a time as any to do a little sound check on this X1000 camera by SJCAM. Intentionally I picked a spot with quite a bit of wind and some background noise. Pretty typical for an action camera to try to pick up some sound of the action you're doing. So, well, obviously at this point I don't know what the sound level or sound quality of the camera is like this. You tell me. And it would of course have been very nice if I would have prepared some kind of text. I haven't, however. So yeah, that's the sound check of this X1000 camera.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you could make out what that lunatic was saying. Yes, the volume wasn't super duper, but the clarity of the sound was pretty good, and no static or anything in the sound. Yeah, it actually is better, I think, than on the more expensive SJ cameras, which is a bit weird. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with this sound level. The next test I did then was of the anti-shake feature of this camera, and I can be very short about that. I did not see any difference between not having the anti-shake on or having the anti-shake on. As you can see here, this footage was shot with the anti-shake on. Yeah. So in my mind this feature is pretty much useless. And the next thing we'll have a look out for is the HDR function. So in this part of the video you see me switch back and forth between having HDR on and having HDR off. And well, you tell me. I can't make out any difference really. Yeah, so basically just like the anti-shake, the HDR function doesn't seem to do much at all. Once again, you tell me, maybe I'm blind, but I can't see it really. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my tests with this X1000 camera by SJCAM. Now, what is my opinion about this camera? Well, if you are looking for an 1080p camera and if you do not need 60 frames a second, this is an excellent camera. The footage it shoots is very crisp. Well focused. You do not have to fiddle around with the lens to focus it yourself. Yeah, the lack of HDR and the anti-shake, I really think those options are just in the menus from another model from SJCAM, and they don't do anything in this particular camera. Regardless of that, I still think you get what you pay for. It's an inexpensive camera. It's a little larger, by the way, than a GoPro. So if you are looking to put this into a gimbal meant for a GoPro, make sure the gimbal is modifiable. All the gimbals I have, by the way, I have had to modify. So in some cases it's not a biggie at all. Just be aware of that, and you'll be fine. Yeah, you tell me, what are your impressions of this camera? I think it's a pretty good camera, and for its price, around $90, I think it's fine. And obviously I hope this review was informational for you, and hope to see you back in another video. Bye bye.